So guys, let me ask you a question. Do you remember the first time that you got dumped? I was 13 years old. How old were you? Remember how you felt when you had the girlfriend that you really liked? You wrote her a letter, she said yes, you snuck and talked on the phone, but just one day that was over. And no matter what you did, she wouldn't take you back. I'm not gonna lie. Sad music! I cried for days, family. I cried. When I found out that the girl that I used to be with was over there now dating Dusty Darrell, I hated Dusty Darrell. The only problem is I couldn't really beat him, so I just had to hate on him on the low because he was bigger than me. But Darrell was Dusty. And at that moment, I was pissed, but I wouldn't give up. I kept on writing love letters. Until Dusty Darrell told me if I wrote another one, he was gonna whip my ass. And that was the end of that. But what about you? Like, don't you remember how it was? Maybe you just got dumped yesterday. But you know what? Life goes on. And hey, there's always tomorrow. Hey, I got a chance to see that chick like 10 years later. She has like 3 kids by 3 different guys. I am so happy it wasn't me. But that's not every guy. You see, man, there are a lot of guys out there who unfortunately can't take rejection. Now for us, we're normal guys. We understand that life goes on. But not every guy is like that. Especially this guy by the name of Jamere Miller. Now guys, I will warn you, this is quite graphic in detail, but I want to play this clip so that you can get the gist of everything going on here. Let's check it out.
Charges tonight after a young mother and nurse is kidnapped and murdered.
She was simply trying to live her life, work hard, and break off a relationship that she knew was not good for her.
Her ex-boyfriend goes before a judge accused in a brutal case of domestic violence. And we start here at 5 with the new developments in the murder of Patrice Wilson. I'm Kimberly Gill.
Good evening. I'm Karen Drew in for Devin Skillion tonight. Jamere Miller is facing a list of charges including murder, carjacking, armed robbery, and several gun counts. Our Sean Lay has been following this case from the beginning. Sean, the judge called him a danger today.
She did, and she's holding him tonight without bond. We're talking about Jamere Miller. Now, I was with Patrice Wilson's grandmother shortly after those charges were brought officially earlier today.
Thank God they charged something. You know what?
Instant reaction from Pamela Golden, the grandmother of murdered nurse Patrice Wilson, telling me this family has been praying that Jamere Miller would be charged with Wilson's murder, and that is exactly what happened in court this afternoon.
Thank God they did charge him. You know what? But it doesn't bring her back. You know, my heart is still aching.
It happened the morning of May 13th. Patrice Wilson just finished her nursing shift at Detroit Receiving Hospital. A man Wilson, prosecutors say, was desperately trying to get away from. Miller, prosecutors say, hid in the parking area disguised in a blonde wig. Allegedly abducting Wilson, she was later found shot to death in her own vehicle at her Novi apartment complex. Wayne County prosecutor Kim Worthy today saying this case touched a nerve all across the area.
I think this case is very relatable. It was a woman that had a relationship with a man that she was trying to get out of. It was a woman that was hardworking, was simply leaving her job that day to get home to her family. And I think everybody can relate to that. And everybody can hope that nothing like that will happen to them.
While Wilson's loved ones wait for justice right now, they say they need your prayers.
Please, we just need a lot of prayers. A lot of prayers. Strength. Because we don't have it right now. We really need some prayers.
So much emotion from Patrice Wilson's grandmother, hoping that these charges would be brought. Now she's looking for that justice. Look, Karen, also today, prosecutor Kim Worthy, police chief James White here in Detroit spoke passionately about domestic violence, urging people in that similar situation to try to act, or loved ones try to help and act. Just do something, pick up the phone. They put a list of resources out that you can call if you're in that situation. Important steps here that you will get a response from. We put all these resources on our website. Click on Detroit.com. Back to you.
That resource is so important because it is such a challenging time in that relationship.
Truly.
I know you did some research into Miller. What do you know about his background, his past?
There's a lot. In particular, a new old case has been reopened. It's out of Romulus. A woman linked to Miller went missing in 2011. She's never been found. That case is being looked at again now.
Wow. All right. Thank you, Sean. We appreciate it.
My heart goes out to that beautiful young lady, Patrice Wilson, and her family, and her lovely grandmother there. I'm lost for words because I don't know how I would feel. I have a niece that's close to her in age. I don't know how I would feel if my niece was assassinated by somebody who just couldn't get over the answer that it was no, that he was just dumped. But the crazy thing about it was this guy sat there in the parking lot with a blonde weave or a blonde wig and waited until this young lady who works hard for her money to abduct her and then do what he did to her body. And I thought that I would talk to men out there because, you know, some of us, we have a different mindset. Some of us, it's not that serious. Most of us, it's not that serious. We could always find somebody else, but not every man thinks like that. Not every man believes that he can find somebody else. And there are some men who have so low self-esteem, they're willing to go as far as this or even thought about it. And let me just tell you something, guys. You know, things are going to happen in life where relationships will end. And unfortunately, everything in life ends. I mean, we all got to meet our maker one day to get room or make room for the next generation of people who will inhabit this earth. But the one thing that you should always do is to always leave relationships as much as possible with class. And that's coming from a guy who typically I've never really done it in my life. Every time I used to have a relationship with somebody, it goes bad or it doesn't work anymore. It's always, I'm not talking to you. It ends on bad terms. And this really ended on bad terms. But, you know, I've matured from that position. And sometimes it's not going to work out, man. It's just how life works. But that doesn't mean you need to go and stalk a person. That definitely doesn't mean you need to even call the person back. They don't want to be with you. What is the best way to deal with that? You have to accept it for what it is. You can't force somebody to love you. You can't force somebody to care about you. And even if they've changed their opinions based on something that they ever done or something that you've done, what can you do? A lot of things in relationships are learning experiences, just like business, just like your craft, just like your occupation. And you have to take these opportunities to get better. And that's the one thing about life is you never stop learning. But one of the things that men need to do is understand how to walk away gracefully. She don't want to be with you no more. She don't want to deal with you no more. And that's what it is. Man, let her go, because your life is going to be better most likely anyway. Why would you throw your life away for the fact that somebody doesn't want to be with you? You're 36 years old. You're relatively a young man. Now you're rotting away in jail. Your family is going to be suffering because of you, all because a woman didn't want to be with you. See, there are plenty of women out there in the world who will be with a man that is confident in himself. And it's not even that important to go out there disrespecting people, cursing people out, yelling at ladies or whatever. And definitely not getting into an altercation where you feel like you need to put on a wig and kidnap her and do whatever you want to do or go to her job. Well, she don't want you, man. She got that right. And you got the right to not want her ass back. And I wish that a lot of men would just believe in themselves like, yo, okay, that's how it is. You don't want to deal with me? It's cool. I wish you luck. And leave it, let it go like that. I always say, if you gave her something, let her keep it, right? Don't let her have no power over you. You got to be strong as a man. And one of the things about being a man is overcoming disappointment. And this may happen with your girlfriend. It happens with your life or wife. And people don't owe you anything, man. It's the truth. And after you get to that point in life, man, you will start to see yourself really grow and develop. And you'd be surprised at how many of those ladies who broke up with you will want you. And like I said, the first chick who broke up with me, I got a chance to see her a few years ago in the mall. And when I saw her, I was not impressed. So usually you're not missing out on anything anyway. And I will look at it like that. But condolences to the sister. And I will tell ladies, you know, whenever you're dealing with men, and this can happen from anybody, but you got to make sure you're not dealing with somebody who's a loser, who won't have anything to lose. Because if a man be willing to do that, he don't have nothing to lose. All right. So guys, what you think? It's your boy, O'Shea Duke Jackson, back at it again with another episode of The Slavery Junk. Producer for all the subscribe to the bell. I'm out.